Hey guys, Nnamdi Kanu's international lawyer, Fein, calls for Nigerians' expulsion or suspension from UN, other bodies over country's lawlessness, IPOB leaders' detention. Welcome back to Prospect Channel TV. Thank you for always coming out here. If you are just joining us for the first time, please kindly subscribe, share, and like. Thank you. May God bless you all. Bruce Fein. The International Council for the Detained Leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, has called on the United Nations, the European Commission, the Commonwealth of Nations, and the African Union to investigate Nigerians' eligibility to sit among the family of civilized nations. Fein described Nigeria as a lawless nation and urged the UN, the Commonwealth of Nations, and AU to reconsider Nigerians' membership. The lawyer said this in a letter titled, Nigerians' Incorrigible Lawlessness, Suspension or Expulsion from International Bodies, and dated January 27, 2024. Which was addressed to the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, the European Commission President King Charles III, and the AU Chairperson. He said Nigerians' contempt for the rule of law militates against the eligibility to sit among civilized nations. In his letter, Bruce Fein lamented that Nnamdi Kanu is currently arbitrarily detained in a Nigerian dungeon in precarious health and denied access to necessary medical care. He said the United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Detention declared on July 20, 2022, that Mr. Kanu's detention was in violation of sustained jurisprudence, international human rights covenant, please pardon me. It ordered his immediate and unconditional release and repatriations. Nigeria has nipped at and disrespected the working group's order for more than 18 months. On October 1st, 2020, 5 United Nations human rights experts lettered Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari, protesting the summary listing of Indigenous People of Biafra IPOB as a terrorist organization. His consensus leader is Mr. Kanu. President Buhari was called on to reconsider the listing in part because peaceful advocacy for an independent Biafra is protected speech under international law. President Buhari ignored the letter. Nigeria, uniquely in the world, has bound IPOB as a terrorist organization despite its furious lobbying. On November 10, 1995, Nigeria hanged Nobel Prize nominee Ken Saro-Wiwa despite pleas from multiple foreign governments and human rights groups. The current Nigerian constitution was drafted in secrecy by a military dictator and has never been approved by the people of Nigeria in a referendum or otherwise. It commands no legal standing. Nigeria has never prosecuted any person for murdering a Biafran during its 64 years of existence since independence in 1960. In the eyes of Nigeria, Biafrans are subhuman who may be killed or purged with impunity. Nigeria internationally starved millions of civilians during the 1967 to 1970 Biafran Civil War, a war crime. On December 15, 2023, the Supreme Court of Nigeria gave the green light to prosecution of evidence-free charges against Mr. Kanu, despite acknowledging that the criminal case had been born of Nigerians' kidnapping and extraordinary rendition of the defendant from Kenya in June 2021 in violation of Cogent's principles of international law, and the Nigerian government attempted assassination of Mr. Kanu in September 2017. Supreme Court of Nigeria held that the Nigerian government criminality can operate as a profit center or mafia without interference by Nigerian courts, and that Nigeria can kidnap and subject to extraordinary rendition any person in any country in the world without worrying about criminal prosecution in Nigerian courts. According to Fein, no country in the world is safe from Nigerians' trademark lawlessness. He said it is threat to international peace and security under the United Nations chapter by any yardstick. No Nigerian official has been either arrested or charged for Nigerians' crimes against Mr. Kanu. None ever will absent international sanctions. Wake up. Nigeria is an outlaw nation. I urge your organizations to initiate formal investigations into Nigerians' eligibility to sit among the family of civilized nations, aspiring to a rule-based international order, as amplified above. Credible evidence in the public domain of Nigerians' contempt for the rule of law, militants against Nigerians' legibility. I note that the United Nations suspended South Africa for its policy of apartheid in 1974. The African Union suspended Sudan in 1921 over a military coup. The Commonwealth suspended Nigeria in 1995 over the hanging of Ken Saro-Wiwa. In closing, I cannot improve on Amos 5 verse 24. Let justice roll down like waters, and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream. So guys, let's hear from you. Thank you for stopping by.